All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you. And the first thing I want to talk about is Amazon is hinting at a secret cryptocurrency project. And this is something the world has been waiting for a long time, or maybe not. I guess we were waiting for them to adopt Bitcoin. But as I always say, the corporate coins are coming indeed eventually, sooner or later. Basically, all the corporations in the world are eventually going to have to adopt their own cryptocurrencies. They don't really want to do it so much with Bitcoin because they can't control Bitcoin. They can't put their own code into Bitcoin. They can't make it only available on their platform like some kind of digital currency or gift card or something like that. And we all know how corporations work. Likely, they're not going to accept Bitcoin. And if they're going to accept Bitcoin in any way, they're going to use a third party like BitPay to do it. However, it's just a matter of time before these corporations are forced to be buying Bitcoin or using Bitcoin. But for now, the corporate coin is coming. Of course it is. It's not so much of a question of if, but when big tech companies will begin rolling out their own siloed cryptocurrency alternatives. It's a scenario that feels as inevitable as it does worrisome, and if recent findings are to be believed, the most inevitable and worrisome of them is all here, basically. According to recent job postings that have since been removed, Amazon is almost certainly exploring an in-house cryptocurrency payment system for its various services, including Prime Video. It says, we are looking for a leader to help us launch a new payment product starting with Mexico as our initial launch country. And this makes total sense because launching a cryptocurrency in the United States is very difficult. You have to go through a lot of security processes and things like that. Basically, the laws are simply not there to start a good cryptocurrency in the United States. So read the listing and others. This product will enable customers to convert their cash into digital currency, using which customers can enjoy online services, including shopping for goods and/or services like Prime Video. Oh joy, the article says, and I have to agree with that. Oh joy, it doesn't really make that much sense to me. If you want to convert your cash into a digital currency, which you can only use on the platform, why wouldn't you have just used your cash to begin with anyway? But I digress. The position of software development manager was posted alongside with other similar openings within Amazon's digital emerging payments project division, while the job description mentioned Mexico as the first country slated to be introduced to the new payment product. Others are sure to follow. Although now removed, the listing was first posted on February 4th, not long after the company announced the news that Jeff Bezos would be stepping down as the CEO. And then they thought that the new Andy Jassy, the crypto guy, was going to enact Bitcoin, or he was going to be crypto friendly. Well, I don't think so. I think a lot of these corporations want what is effectively just a digital currency, a gift card, something that you can convert your money and then you're sort of stuck on their platform with their converted coins, in the same way that if you go to a department store and you get a gift card for $20 and then you give that gift card to somebody, well, let's say they go and buy something and it turns out to be $19.80 some cents. Well, what are you going to do with that 20 cents on your gift card? You could use it the next time you shop and get a whole hot 20 cents off. I guess a lot of people might just forget about that gift card, put it back in their wallet and never use it again until it expires, or just straight throw it in the trash. Or what that also does is you say to yourself, well, I have a $20 gift card, I'm going to buy this product for $25, so then you're still giving them more money. You went to the store and bought more than what the gift card is on it, or you bought less than what's on the gift card, and then they just got some free money, and that's typically the MO with gift cards. So while details are purposely scarce, at the moment it seems unlikely the new venture will relate to Amazon Coins, the company's app credit payment system first launched in 2013. Although Amazon has referred to its coin program as virtual currency in the past, in reality the service is essentially just a digital gift card for apps like Kindle, Titles, and etc. Which I've never even actually heard of Amazon gift cards, and everybody uses Amazon. I don't know why you'd use them. Anyway, A digital emerging payments project strongly hints at something more robust than token purchases and seasonal savings deals, especially when one considers how restrictive Amazon remains for customers' current payment options. Both PayPal and Bitcoin, for example, are still not options on any direct Amazon sales across the company's many platforms, and that's because PayPal is eBay, and Amazon and eBay are in direct competition with each other for just anybody putting their own products on Amazon for sale or anybody putting their own stuff for sale on eBay. It's sort of a direct competition in that sense. So, of course, they're not going to adopt PayPal. Although clearly in its nascent stages, it looks like Prime Pay, Prime Coin, Bezos Bucks, whatever, is coming for the markets in the near future. We should probably be concerned, realistically. Amazon is not about to set up its own non-fiat backed currency system, but you could bet your bottom Bitcoin that Bezos and company aren't salivating at the thought of bypassing U.S. regulatory systems in any way they can. With Tesla buying up Bitcoin, the literal billions and major institutions in investigating their own cryptocurrency banking options, society is heading towards a massive fintech reckoning. If we were more optimistic, we'd say we hope people will think this through before diving off the crypto cliff. So again, this is sort of just exactly what I've been saying for over a year now, in the sense that the corporate coin is coming. In fact, we have Pepsi coin, right? It's not a cryptocurrency, but they call it Pepsi coin because anybody that put coin on their name, remember, I think it was in 2017, maybe early 2018, the Long Island Iced Tea Company renamed their company Long Island Blockchain or Blockchain Island Tea or something like that. It's been so long. And their stock went up by like hundreds of percent just because they simply named their coin or their company Blockchain. It had nothing to do with that. They offered no coin or service, yet their stock went up. And this kind of reminds me of the early 2000s, maybe even late 90s, when all of the corporations were out there buying up domain names like MicroSoft.com and Pizza Hut and this, that, and the other thing. And in fact, a lot of people actually bought those domain names long before the corporations did in preparation of corporations buying the name. I remember one particularly, I think somebody bought Windows 2000, the domain name, and then Microsoft had to buy that from them when they came out with Microsoft 2000. So it's really a genius idea, particularly at the time. But you have to ask yourself, I remember you see like a Kellogg's cornflake commercial and they're like, go to Kellogg's.com. Why on earth in the early 2000s or even now would you go to Kellogg's.com? I mean, what are you going to see? Their cereal? I mean, that you can see in the grocery and that exists for the past 70 years? Well, every corporation had to, and then every corporation had to get a Twitter, and now every corporation is going to have their own token, including, I think it was Honey Nut Cheerios had B-Coin or something like that. So it's going to happen. Moving on here, you could soon use cryptocurrency for payments in Google Pay and Samsung Pay. So we first had the Apple Pay essentially partner with BitPay, and now we have Google Pay and Samsung Pay also partnering with BitPay. And now I'm not a big fan of BitPay because they're a third party and they just sort of weaseled their way into the peer-to-peer system that is Bitcoin. I could send you money directly, but corporations don't like dealing with Bitcoin. So instead, BitPay comes along, weasels its way in between us, and the corporation gets their fiat, and people get to spend their Bitcoin at the very least. Google Pay and Samsung Pay are two of the dominant pay options in the Android smartphone space, allowing you to make transactions using a stored credit card, debit card, and more. Now, cryptocurrency payment service BitPay has announced that it's bringing its BitPay card to Google and Samsung's mobile payment apps. This will essentially allow Google Pay and Samsung Pay users in the US to pay for transactions using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, albeit after converting it to fiat currency. At least that's the job of BitPay. So this is adoption, and adoption is great. At least it gets people seeing that Bitcoin is an option, and it just sort of further solidifies that Bitcoin is indeed money, and may remind people who have never been into Bitcoin or have heard about Bitcoin that, hey, this is indeed money now. Maybe you should buy it. So at the very least, people buying Bitcoin in order to use it as a payment I don't suppose that's a particularly bad thing. BitPay's wallet support also supports Bitcoin Cash, Ether, as well as several dollar-pegged cryptos as well. And again, they partnered with Apple Pay, so at least we have the whole swath of it now. Interesting news here. Dogecoin drops 23% as Elon Musk slams the Doge rich list. And what's particularly interesting about this is that a lot of people actually made Dogecoin bots and other various bots that basically follow Elon Musk's social media, particularly his Twitter. And whenever he mentions Dogecoin, those bots are specifically set up to immediately, within seconds, buy Dogecoin and then sell it later. So I bet a lot of people got juked on this one because their bots were set up to buy anytime he mentions Dogecoin, Bitcoin, or probably various other cryptocurrencies as well. And I bet a lot of those bots bought Dogecoin because all it states is that if you see these letters buy in the programming, and then it drops on them. So I bet a lot of people's bots backfired on this one. The value of Dogecoin sank 23% in a matter of hours on Monday after Elon Musk drew attention to the vastly unequal distribution of Doge tokens and urged major holders to sell off their holdings. Dogecoin is one of the most unequal coin distributions in the cryptocurrency space, with 28.7% being held by just one person and the top 12 holders possessing almost 50% of the supply. So he says, if major Dogecoin holders sell most of their coins, it will get my full support. Too much concentration is the only real issue. A little over 7 hours later, Dogecoin's price plunged 23% from 63 cents, or excuse me, 6.3 cents to 4.8 cents. While Musk's tweets have been previously credited with moving cryptocurrency prices, not least Dogecoin, his role in Monday's drop was less clear, given that over 105 billion departed the rest of the global market capitalization at the same time. Losses in excess of 20% were a common sight among the crypto market cap rankings, with altcoins in particular subject to an enormous pullback. Analysts suggest this was caused by Bitcoin's push to an all-time high just hours earlier, which pulled volume out of the altcoin market. So calculating the exact distribution of a given currency can be difficult because public blockchains tend to be either pseudo-anonymous or anonymous. But data from several available sources shows that almost 70% of the entirety of Dogecoin supply is held in just over 100 addresses. So yeah, Dogecoin heavily centralized, maybe not in terms of its minings, but in terms of its holdings, indeed it is. And I even seen that with my own eyes, essentially, without even looking at the block explorer or anything. When Dogecoin first pumped during the first round, when it went to 8.8 cents, I was actually watching on exchanges. I was sitting there with a friend, and we were watching the exchange and talking about it. And you could see unbelievable shadows from the candles. Basically, all of a sudden it was at 7 cents, and then boom to like 3.7, and then right back up to 7, which is basically somebody selling millions of Doge all at the same time, just hitting the market button and taking the profit. So it was pretty clear that there were several people, individuals that were selling it in just an extreme second, market selling an incredible amount of Doge. So it looks like the Dogecoin bots got wrecked on this one, the Elon Musk following Dogecoin bot. So I bet a whole bunch of them bots bought Dogecoin, and then it sank 23%. So I don't want anybody to lose money, but a little bit funny. Moving on here. Americans who bought the Bitcoin, or the Bitcoin, sounds like a 72-year-old saying it, like, oh, them kids with the Bitcoins. But anyway, Americans who bought Bitcoin with first stimulus check are up 639%. Remember, there's another wave of stimulus checks coming, something like $1,400 a piece if you're in that income bracket. So there's going to be a whole mess of deposits to Coinbase here pretty soon, whether it's a month or 2 months. Who knows how long it's going to take Congress to actually push this through. But get ready for the tweet from Brian Armstrong of Coinbase saying how many people bought exactly 1,400 deposits onto, or put 1,400 deposits onto Coinbase. So any American citizen who bought Bitcoin with their $1,200 stimulus checks in April last year will now be sitting on $8,876. Ooh, them gains. Love that money. It was the first check sent out by the U.S. government after the country was forced into lockdown, and anyone who used it to buy Bitcoin would have a staggering 639% profit. In fact, the Ethereum profit is even more on this. I think the stimulus check, if you bought Ethereum, is something like $12,000 with just having $1,200. So it's even bigger. But we're focusing on Bitcoin here. Fair enough. U.S. government handed out the first stimulus checks to every American citizen as a drastic measure as people lost their jobs due to the COVID lockdowns. But it wasn't to every American citizen. I just want to make a correction there. It was between a certain income bracket. Then President Donald Trump signed the bill to send out the checks to every American citizen making less than $75,000 a year. So they at least corrected it there, and $150,000 if you're married. The stimulus checks were sent out over the period of a few weeks, and the first ones to receive it would have gotten it when Bitcoin was around $6,700. Now, you could argue that on certain exchanges it did go a little bit lower, but fair enough. Those who invested their money in Bitcoin at the earliest point would have got about 0.178 Bitcoin. And in just the first 2 weeks, they would have seen 40% gains as the price rocketed to $9,435 by the end of the month. Since then, we have seen Bitcoin finally smash its old 2017 all-time high of just under 20,000 and keep rocketing all the way up to the new all-time high of 49,513 yesterday. So in just 10 months, those who didn't rely on the stimulus check to get by and were savvy enough to invest it in Bitcoin may have made 639%. Now sitting on that $8,876 bumper check. So the second stimulus check was about half the amount, and it was sent out in the start of 2021. So any American citizen who used that to buy Bitcoin is still making a nice profit, but not as much. Whoever received their $600 stimulus check on 1st of January were the lucky ones, because that was the lowest price BTC has been this year. Anyone who invested their $600 on 1st of January would have gotten about 0.0205 Bitcoin for their shrewd move, and in just 6 weeks would be sitting on 61% gains and a nice fat stimulus check of $969. So not bad. And remember, the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said the House hopes to pass a huge economic aid package, including the $1,400 stimulus checks by the end of the year, or by the end of February, which is probably by the end of this year, considering how slow Congress is in the United States. So, but by the end of February, which I kind of doubt that's going to happen. I think Congress is technically, like at the end of February, I think they're technically on vacation, because they go on vacation like once a month, which is just amazing. So I kind of doubt it's going to happen in February, but that's one of those dealios I hope to be wrong on, I suppose. And it should be on the president's desk and sent out to Americans by no later than the 14th of March. So again, get ready for possibly another boost in the price of Bitcoin. However, if we're in like sort of a Bitcoin fall at the time, it probably won't help it. However, if it's just sort of trading kind of sideways like it is now, you could definitely bet that if Bitcoin by the time this comes out is about the same price that it is now, which is 47,000, or excuse me, it's like 49,000 right now, over 49,000. And if it's anywhere between 47 and 49,000, I would suspect we're going to go over 50,000. But I do kind of want to talk about that in just a second here on CoinMarketCap. We're at $49,242, and $50,000 again is going to be another psychological barrier. So if you're trading or you're holding right now and you're wondering what's going to happen, it's likely we're probably going to hit 50,000 or very close to it, or we might go just slightly above it and then fall back down. Who knows what it could go to, maybe 42,000. It probably wouldn't dip under 40,000. If it does, hey, great buying opportunity, because if you're into Bitcoin believing that Bitcoin is going to be 100,000, which anybody that's been in Bitcoin for a long time kind of realizes that it's probably going to be 100,000 at least at some point, whether it's this year or next year or after the next halvening, who knows? Hopefully it's sooner than that. Then the dip doesn't really matter, does it? You should just be buying more during that dip. However, So just understand that there's going to be a lot of sell orders at exactly 50,000, and there's going to be a lot of sell orders above 50,000 as well, and it's going to take a lot of pressure to break that, and so it essentially has to go up, hit it, and then there's just so many sell orders that there's no way the amount of market orders could actually break that, and then it's going to go back down because once it starts losing steam, people typically float back to the other side of the statistic of selling, and you have to do that a couple times. Typically with 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 type deal. As we go up, this is just going to be a thing as people like to stack sell orders at 50, 60, 70, 80, and get ready for the 100,000 stack as well, because I'm sure there is when the time comes, there's going to be an incredible sell order at 100,000 as well. But Ethereum at $1,809 as well, so very close to that $2,000 point. Cardano not doing incredibly well, don't get me wrong on that, but not quite able to hit that $1 mark. XRP still sitting at 56 cents. I heard some people asking about some news that XRP is allegedly settling with the SEC, and then once they do that, they're going to be in the clear. However, that was if you happen to see that information floating around, that's not quite official. Basically, that's a cryptocurrency lawyer who is speculating on what they're going to do, and he could very well be right. That may be the case. They may be found to be a security. They may just win the case outright and be found to be a currency. But that is not bona fide news at the moment. That's not official news, so that's just one person's speculation, which is a quite qualified individual, but not just speculation indeed. However, if XRP is totally wins and it's just a currency and they're totally fine, expect a huge XRP rally. Now, everybody knows that has watched this channel for a while, I'm not a big XRP fan, but plain and simple, objectively speaking, there is a huge chance for an XRP rally to $1. Is it going to go above $1 and then go back down? Maybe. That's completely uncertain. But what is more so certain is that once they're found to be a currency and this lawsuit just totally poof disappears, whether they settle or win it, whatever, that means that like 30 exchanges are going to be relisting or unsuspending XRP, and a ton of investors are going to be buying back in. So that's probably not going to last forever here, this 56 cents. But Litecoin, doing really well, over $214 as well. So, but that's all I have for you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, share the video. That helps me out a lot. My social media is in the description below. Memberships are active on the channel. Hit the join button, become a member. 32% cooler when you comment on the channel when you have a membership badge. It's clear. In fact, some of the people who have bought the membership long ago and are still members, they're upwards of 32.1, 32.2% gains in terms of how cool they look when they comment. So, hey, either way, that's big gains. But that's all I have for you guys. As usual, I'll see you guys next time.